Hey guys, good evening and welcome to the Bob Randall and Company live preview show for Monday. This is episode 15 and this is October 10th, 2022. At this time, please say hello to the fantastic Randall Santa Checker Lee over here to my
Hello,
right.
everybody. Great to see everybody. Great intro from Bob the Magnificent. How you doing, everybody? Great to see everyone. My goodness, we got a great group of people already starting on today. Happy Monday, everybody. Isn't that to say TGIM? TGIM? Is that what you?
Yeah. Yeah. And we got a lot to talk about today. Got some three great shows coming up here really quick. I mean, the season's winding down fast. It's been a long season, but I hate to see it come to an end. But we've all got to go to work and put some jolly out there. So gonna have to wind it down here in a few weeks. Weather's absolutely gorgeous here. Oh my goodness, we couldn't ask for better fall weather here in Texas. How about you, Randy?
Yeah, really. I mean, we've had some fantastic fall weather. It's did get down. We had some frost on the car the other day, so it was almost quite 32, but it's been gorgeous during the day in the 60s and sunny, blue skies. Maybe rain this coming Wednesday or Thursday, but man, we've been very fortunate. Those leaves are turning. They're just gorgeous. I mean, it's just so cool to see the colors, man. It's breathtaking.
Well, I know we had talked earlier in the year about the dry spell that we went through here in Texas, the drought that we were in, the long period of no rain at all. Then we had those 18 inches within less than 48 hours. Is basically about 28 hours worth of rain, and we haven't had any since. It's been 35 days, I believe it is, 36 days since we
Wow.
had any measurable rain, and so it's dry here, but it's beautiful, dry fall weather. Can't beat it. Love it. Absolutely. Can't wait for those colder temperatures. I don't need to be getting the snowblower out like you and I were talking about earlier, Randy. But at least some jacket weather, sweater weather.
I don't want to get that snowblower out either. I really don't. It's just, man, I know Santa's supposed to love that snow, but Santa still goes to all the warm places too.
Oh yeah, yeah, and uh, hey, there's nothing wrong with being a snowbird and drifting to the south for the winter and then going back north for the summer. Nothing wrong with that at all.
Boy, that would be a dream.
Yeah. So Scott Parker put up a message to Angela that he will have the video for her Sunday or Monday at the latest, and that is for our uh, Halloween costume show. There are a couple of folks that are going to submit by video because Scott will be working. He's working at a haunted house, haunt extravaganza, through Halloween. So he won't actually be able to come in. And Mitchell Allen is going to be out of pocket. So he had mentioned something about sending us one also. And that brings us also to the closeout show, the last show of the year, October 25th. Yeah, exactly. But if you want to be on live, please reach out to us so we can get you hooked up or we can get you into the show. It'll be a short segment, maybe 5 minutes, but come in and tell us what you liked about the show, what you hated about the shows, whatever you want to do, speak your mind. And or if you cannot do it live, as last year we had a handful of folks come in live. The majority of them send in recorded messages. Just send me a 2-3 minute recorded message to either me, Angela, Randall, Spangle if you got his, and would like, just be sure and tell him what it's for because he's so busy he may get confused really easy. So, but anyway, we'll talk more about that towards later. Right now, I think it's time for that big old burger called something burger. Hot
Mm.
topics. All right, something burger, hot topics. We got two today. We've been trying to do one apiece and give you guys something to think about. This is our audience participation moment. We're going to ask you guys a question and we want your answer. Give us your best answer. All right, Randy, go ahead. Go with that first one.
All righty. The question is how many of you guys out there have done virtual? You can just put in there I have or whatever I have, and do you like doing virtual? And is it kind of, I guess that's all I'm just kind of curious, take a little poll because of something we're going to talk about, and just type in there if you don't mind. Have you done virtual? And if you like it, I'd appreciate your little it's kind of a poll more than a question right now, but um, so that's actually a very easy one from me. Bob's got the cool question.
Yeah, just to see where everybody stands on that. I mean, I know in 2019 when COVID hit, everything was shut down. Virtual was a real thing. I mean, we all prepared that year to do pretty much full blown, virtual. And a lot of guys went out and spent money on cameras and microphones and ring lights and stand lights, and backdrops and or a physical backdrop like tangible items like Randy has. And there's still guys that are doing it. Randy does a lot and will continue to do a lot this year. He has going to be full of virtual. I know quite a few people who do all virtual now. They decided with that transition that it was a good time to transition from doing physical visits and went straight into virtual, and they liked it so much that they're still doing it. And then there's some guys that did a few and then went back to doing what they were doing once everything opened up. Me being one at the mall, don't have a lot of time for virtual because of the hours that I work. So give us some answers. Hey, let's run through here real quick and say hello to AJ, Scott Parker, Eric and Moesha Elliott, Rex Ray, Santa Tom up in Vancouver, Nathan. Hello, Nathan. We got Mark Walker on with us today. Greg Swick. Oh, God. What about last week's show? Oh, my goodness, man. Greg, thank you again. What a phenomenal presentation you had. All right, so let's see here. Greg says, I have, and yes, that's all I do. So there again, Greg is one of those that starting in 2019, put in so much time and effort and has really put a top-notch product out there. It's taken a long time to get where he's at, but practice makes perfect. And boy, has he got it down. Rex says he has. Scott Parker says yes. I like it, but I love real visits more. That's true. There are two different kind of visits, and Randy can probably talk more about that than I can. What do you say about that, Randy?
Something burger. No, it's Santa shorts.
Oh, all right. We'll come back to that here in a bit then. Fantastic. All right. Well, good. Eric Boyce says they have. Hello, Santa Jeff. Olette, how are you today, sir? All right. So let's go on to topic number
Thank
2.
You.
Give them something else to think about, and then Santa Shorts, you'll cover the virtual a little bit heavier. And that was why the first question was what it was, because Randy's got a great segment towards the end of the show. All right. Something burger hot topic number 2. Elf on the shelf. How do you answer the question to the children when they pose this question to you? What's my elf's name? Does my elf really live at the North Pole? Does my elf travel back to the North Pole as a scout elf and report into you every day? Those are just a few of the questions that seem to pop up every year. I know a lot of Santas that don't care for shelf on elf.
They want to put them on the shelf and leave them there is what they want to do.
Yeah, because it's kind of a hard question sometimes thrown at them, and if you don't have a prepared answer, and that's why this is in the Something Burger today, is to give us all kind of a prepared answer to have ready. Rehearse that answer, let it roll off your tongue, make it believable, look the children in the eyes. Me and Randy was talking about this a while ago, and just tell them, tell them what you want them to believe.
That's what it is, and like I said, it's an elf on a shelf. They're not going away. I think they're getting bigger. They're kind of expanded. Of course, they have a girl elf, they have a guy elf, they have the animals. So they have clothing for the elves. So the whole story, it's no different than having your backstory for how you Mrs. Claus met. It's no different than having your backstory about something else. So learn your backstory, like Bob said, about the elf on a shelf, and that's what this segment's about. Kind of getting some ideas about how you can handle those questions.
Yes, it is. And this is the answer that I use, that Rex is using. Of course, there's a lot of us have talked about this and have come up with this same answer. But we don't name the elves. We let the children adopt those elves out. They are the ones that name them. For us, they're just a number. And for Rex, the number he uses is 1,754,341. That's a big number. As long as you remember that number and you can continue to put that number out, that's what's important. For me, I use a basic number over and over and over and over. It's a 5-digit number. It's just something that's easy for me to remember. And I tell them that. This kind of goes hand in hand with another topic that we'll kind of slide into. Same way when they asked you, how do you know where I live? How do you know what presents, go to what house? And I tell them, I said, now look, you cannot climb on your roof, but there is a number on your roof that my GPS coordinates with. It sees it, you cannot see it, so don't climb up there. But it tells me where to go. Modern day, used to, I had to work really hard. But now I sit back and ride and let the GPS do all the work. But anyway, back to what Rex was talking about. Prior to that, the question that Randy posed, he said, I did virtual in 2020, but since I have not had much call for it, now he does pre-recorded videos. That's another segment that you can do. The pre-recorded is same thing. It's just pre-recorded instead of done live, and it's a message where you send that to the children, and there's no interaction backwards and forward with the children. One of the things that I know that came up in this topic before is some guys had a hard time transitioning to the virtual because they were not getting that interaction with the children. Sometimes the children get so awed by what is on the, what they're seeing on their screen that they just sat there and go.
They get quiet, and you don't have that. And so some could not exchange or change that how to, and basically then you become the entertainer because you're on television,
Yes.
so you're then the entertainer. No difference than watching a TV show, and even though it's an interactive TV show, you have to be able to change and transition that way. And some can't, and that's nothing wrong with that. There's plenty of thank goodness the big COVID problem's over, so we can do live.
Yeah.
But
in person, if you're doing a home visit, if you're at a box store, at a mall, children come in, they're excited, they're jumping up and down. They can't wait to talk to Santa. They got so much to say. A lot of times you can't get them to quiet. If you have a 2 or 3 different age group brothers and sisters, the oldest usually dominates and doesn't let the little ones get their chance. And you kind of have to be a ringmaster at that point and make sure that each child gets their moment with Santa. But I found the same thing, that virtual, they get really quiet, and you have to really banter with them back and forth and ask them questions that will engage them and get them more involved in the conversation instead of just, as you said, being a personality on a TV and entertainer type deal. All right, fantastic. So looks like we got our answers run out there. I don't see any more coming up. As always, thank you guys for your participation. Got anything to add to it, Randy?
Yeah, just about the elf on the shelf too. It's so there's so many children who also bring. I've had them bring an elf on the shelf. They put it in a jar and they'll bring it to you because they touched it. They want to get the magic back. So you have to play along with the game and all that. You tell them you don't touch, and you just have to play the game. And that's, like I said, it's like knowing your backstory. So, and that line about give the number, same thing. I'd say 200,637, scout elves. I don't know all the names. They all got numbers. Same thing. It's an easy answer. As long as you keep that number in your head, you rattle it off, and it sounds convincing to the children. I know, like I said, Bob and I were talking earlier about, we just have to bald-faced lie to the children and lie honestly to their face, which is rough, but we're building a fantasy for them. We're building and that's all it is.
That's a great point, Randy. And again, I've even had them bring the elf to me holding it and say, I accidentally touched the elf, or my sister touched the elf. Can you restore the magic? And I will take them, and I'll ask them to take a step back, and I'll take the elf, and I'll whisper in its ear and let it whisper back at me, and we'll talk for a second. And I pump my finger in them, and then I put them up here to my forehead, and I act like I'm praying, and I'm on the silence, and I give them, back and say, now you can't touch him. Well, Mom's usually got something she's going to put him in, or it in a cloth. I've even seen them bring them in blankets, cloths, napkins, you name it. They brought them up there. But there's so many fun ways to really get into the elf on the shelf. and make it a fun little, interactive game with the children. And that's just a few. I've got one girl that brought a whole big box. She must have had 20, 25 different elves in there, all dressed different. Had some of the animal elves, had little props and stuff in there, little tables. I mean, it was a whole scene. And she knew that, of course, every name. She'd pull them out and tell me who they were. And oh my goodness, some children really get into that.
Yeah, it just keeps the belief in the like I said, fantasy alive a little longer for the children. It just keeps that love, that joy, for that Christmas should bring to the child a little longer. So it's I know it's it's kind of a whatever the character, whoever, I don't know. Well, we'll talk about that later. Who invented the character, but yeah, that's it's
our trivia is kind of tied into all this also. So today's show has multiple layers, and we're having to peel them back like an onion one at a time. But again, guys, I mean, take the up on the shelf. Don't be afraid of it. Embrace it. Have fun with it. And play along and make it a game if you have to. But enjoy it. It is enjoyable if you don't get too stumped with it. Just don't let it stump you up. Them little rascals can trip you. They are tricky. I'm talking about the elves, not the children. Although the children too.
And always keep your answers simple. I know the old KISS, but I don't like the last letter on KISS. But it's kind of for the children also. Just keep it simple. The answer, and Rex's is really simple and really great. It's a good one, guys. Remember that one.
Absolutely, absolutely. All right, you got anything else to add, Randy?
Nope, that's cool. I'm just, man, you know me. I just like to ramble.
Me too. I'm a talker. All right, let's move on to our santascloset.org trivia, since we're talking about elves.
Hey everyone, Elf Angela Mack here for Bob, Randyl, and Company Live. The show about nothing. Bob, Randyl, and Company Live is brought to you by Santa's Closet. Santa's Closet has been delivering unique, value-packed Santa and Mrs. Claus accessories since 2004. Santa's Closet's main goal is to provide both a superior customer experience with tremendous value for their customers. Santa's Closet brings more than 400 separate products to the Claus community at a reasonable price. Don't forget to check out their sister site, MrsClausJewels.com, where Mrs. Claus Janice is a leading supplier for Mrs. Claus, elves, and Santa jewelry, knickknacks, and accessories. Both Tom and Janice are passionate about exceeding your expectations, bringing you products of unparalleled quality and design. Visit their sites at santascloset.org and MrsClausJewels.com. This is Angela Mack reminding you to catch our show every Monday at 3 p.m. Central. Thanks for watching. Now let's get back to Bob, Randyl, and Company Live and today's Monday Santa's Closet Trivia.
Real fast before we do that, let's address a couple of questions down here, or not questions, but comments. This is a KISS method. Scott Parker says, keep it simple, sweetheart.
Perfect. That's good. Keep it simple.
Greg says, keep it simple, Santa. Still,
perfect.
KISS method. All right, Randy, go ahead and throw that trivia question out there. I love this trivia question. As I said, it kind of goes along with what we're doing for the day. So go ahead, Randy.
Yeah, like Bob said, it's going along today. The question is, if I can find it on here without open my eyes and one eye, there we go. What year was the book, The Elf on a Shelf, the traditional story written, and who and the mother and daughter that was credited for it? So what was the year that the book Elf on a Shelf came out, and who was the author, the mom and the daughter that were credited for those Elf on a Shelves that we're having sometimes some problems with? Figuring about how to answer about their names. If it's Snowflake, how do you know my name? How many Scout Elves are there? Does it come back to the North Pole? How does it talk? How do they talk to you and don't talk to me? Sometimes I try to explain to the children, you've seen Toy Story, haven't you? Well, they're over there. When you're sleeping, they move around. And of course, an adult or you walk around, they just fall in that, and that's where they stop.
Love that. Love that answer. All right, guys, we will reveal the answer to this here later on down in the show. Looks like we've got some answers coming in already. So
Wow.
keep them coming. Keep them coming. Remember, the official trivia rules are pinned to the group page, the Tuesday Night Live show over there on Facebook. If you happen to need or want, you can always go over and check those out. All right, Angie, let's do the out video. Fantastic. I love that back and forth, colorful, hard rock.
Looks
Love,
good.
love, love. All right, so now on to the preview of Tuesday Night Live. October 11th, that is tomorrow night, Tuesday night, we have our Tuesday Night Live special roundtable discussion. The script is in. All the participants have been sent their copies. It's going to be a long show. We're going to try to keep it down to a reasonable amount of time, but discussions sometimes go on and on. If you guys are available tomorrow night, I think it'd be beneficial for everyone to jump in with us. We are asking for participation. We want you guys, just like the Something Burger, we want to know what you guys think. Also, our panelists are going to tell us what they think. Randy is going to be joining us tomorrow night on the show. It'll be me, Spangle, Randy, and Angela. And, of course, Angela behind the scenes. And this is going to be fun. We got Santa Rex Ray, Hall of Fame Santa, joining us today on the panel. We have Bruce Kotovich, or Bruce Guerin, depending on how you know him by, stage name or real name. Voice actor, stage production, university teacher, great Santa on the show. Deanna Golden of Santa Nana's Holiday School University will be on for the Mrs. Claus answers. We have directed some answers straight to her, and there's others that she will be able to answer in the nature of the questions. Also, we'll have Mitch Allen is supposed to come on with us tomorrow night. Everyone knows him from Hire Santa Entertainment Group. And he's also a traditional bearded Santa and a fantastic Santa. And we're going to have the new guy, as we all know, part of our family here, Scott Seriton up in Oklahoma City. He's got 5 years under the belt. Some people might say, well, why someone with just 5 years on a panel like this? Because we want the new guy's perspective. So we want to give you a nice rounded panel that can give questions or answers to the questions, and even maybe pose some other questions along the way. Going to be a fantastic show.
Yeah, it's such a great panel. Like Bob said, it hits a professional and a special and expert at every department. Somebody new, a Hall of Famer, somebody's been around for a long time. Someone that hires Santas, they look at that side. Of course, a Mrs. Claus. I mean, it's everybody. A designer beard person that's. I mean, it's why it's a great panel. There's a lot of questions, a lot of very unique, very cool questions. Like, oh my gosh, it's like I didn't even think about that, but yeah, that does come up, and it's like, so yeah. You please join us. You'll have a
Want to say thank you to Randy. He helped put the script together as far as the questions. I leaned on him. He gave me some really great questions. I mean, some of my favorite in the script. Scott Seriton, again, he helped, and then some from moments that I've had, and I back in July, I hate keep bringing this up, but back in July in Branson, we did the similar things. We had talked about it for the show, and Spangle said, let's give it a trial run here this weekend and see how it goes. And I got to say, man, Rex Ray and Kelly Ford and Deanna Golden and Judith Broderick and Larry Shaw and myself, and usually I was telling Randy before the show, whoever had the microphone usually gave the first answer, and they usually covered the majority of what the rest of us were going to say. So in anticipation tomorrow night, I think that's kind of the same way it's going to go. The first answer will probably cover 75, 85% of what any of us may want to say, because we all think we've all been trained, we've all shared. So anyway, Rex had some of the best answers there in Branson, and I'm sure it's going to be the same way tomorrow night. He is, being a Hall of Famer, he has the answers to pretty much everything. But I've got to comment what he says right here. It says, got my script, now I feel like I have homework and my study up. Laugh out loud. That's all right, Rex. It won't take you but a minute to come up with them answers. I know you got it. Yes, it's well, and for us, Angela and I, we actually print ours in landscape. So we do half pages. So I've got 6 pages instead of 3 when you do it that way.
It's a smarter idea than yeah. The letters are getting kind of small. That's why. And these don't. I got to get some real glass instead ones that just look cool. You know, instead of ones that just look like Santa, I get ones that work like Santa.
Well, and you know, I try not to get too small, and I know it's probably hard to say, but there is some. This is today's outline script, we're going to call it, but there is some really fine print in there when you get to looking. But I have a blast putting these together, and yes, it's work, and yes, sometimes I'm thinking, what in the world have I got myself into? But it always turns out great. The shows are great, and that's what it's all about. All right, upcoming guests and shows. Randy, run with it.
Okay, then, of course, tomorrow night, like I said, the 11th is the roundtable. Then on the 18th, Halloween is the special Halloween show, guys. It was a riot last year. I mean, it was a riot. It was so much fun. And the biggest thing is, I'm sure Bob's got it because he's the boss, man. He's got to let you know, incredible prizes. I mean, you guys won't believe the prizes for the costuming and being a participant and everything else. I mean, it's just big prizes, man. 5 of them, but you won't believe what Bob's going to say in a few minutes. So please participate. Like Bob said, even send a video in. If you can't make it, like Scott can't make it, and a couple people I know, Mitch, whatever, said he could maybe do that. If you can't make it, send a quick little video in. You know, just or you know, for the to say this is my Halloween. Send it to me, Bob, Spangle, whoever, and we can get it to Angela, and she can edit it and get it on for that night, because man, there's some great prizes. You definitely want to hear this and be a part of that. But that's the 18th on Tuesday. Then I'm sorry to say the 25th of October is the last show of the year for 2022. That's the wrap-up show. Just saying thank you to everybody and having you guys come on, like Bob said earlier, to come on just for a couple of minutes to say hi, to say thank you, to say what you think about or what you're doing for the holiday season, to wrap up a phenomenal year, to thank all the amazing guests. I mean, it's been crazy, the guests this year. I mean, you know, you've laughed, you know, you've cried, you know, you've you know, had chills and definitely learned something. So the 25th, don't miss the 25th show. And of course, it's kind of unique that it is the 25th. So it's kind of fun being that being the 25th, but that ends the season. Then we'll start again, like Bob said, not until probably February of 2023.
First Monday, Tuesday in February when we are slated to start again. You know, we've done this. Tomorrow night will be our 41st show. So that's going to lead us around to 43 for the season when it's all said and done. Plus the Bob and Barry show, and now the Bob, Randyl, and Company show. We've done over 80 shows this year. And
that's a lot.
It's hard to believe that we've done that many. It just seems like we just got started, and here the end is, and other times it seems like it's went on forever. But all right, so let's talk about the 5 different gifts for the Halloween show. 5 different prizes. We've got scholarship again this year to the School of Santas in Branson. For July, there's 2 classes this year. Can't make one, surely you can make the other. The total package is $359. That's the tuition. Wow. The 2 Branson shows, the 2 in-house entertainment, and all your meals during the school, lunch and dinner, for $359. That's what that's worth. Now, of course, you will have to pay to get yourself there, and you'll have to pay for your own hotel. But my goodness, $359. That's a great prize.
You get everything. I mean, you're going to win that prize. You win that prize, you get everything to go to a great school besides. School of Sandy, you learn so much. Great fellowship, great education. You get shows, you get food, you get fellowship. I mean, what a prize. That's huge. A $359 value prize.
And
Man, thank you, Spangle. That's very cool to whoever's going to get that.
this year's featured keynote speaker will be Ed Taylor. Everyone knows Ed. He doesn't get out much, doesn't do a lot of stuff away from the computer online. He will be there live and in person doing his 3.5 days, I guess, total of teaching, along with Larry Talbert, the insurance guy, Magic, Santa. He'll be back. Jessica Rosa will be there, which brings us to the second prize. Second prize is a professional photo package with Jessica Rosa. That's worth $349. Now, wouldn't it be cool to have some professional photos done with Jessica? She is one of the most renowned Santa and Mrs. Claus photographers in the nation right now. Does phenomenal work. I've had photos done with her. A lot of folks have. Erica Moisha done some. Santa Tom did back in Branson. Both those did packages there in Branson, during the school, in the morning before the school started, and the evenings after class was out. She works you around the school schedule. If you want to get it done there while you're there, $349. Tom Cordemelia and Janice are giving away a $90 Santa belt buckle from Santa's Closet. It's a $90 value. And then Cherry Hill Programs is coming in again. Both Becky and Ruby will be in the contestant lineup, and they have also commissioned 2 gift certificates, $50 each. So that's a total of almost $900 in those 5 gifts when you look at the value of them. So it's well worth throwing a little bit of makeup on, a funny looking hat, whatever you have to do to come on in. And this year, our independent judge will be Rachel King. She is Mrs. Claus, her and Ronnie up in Missouri. They're not, they're about an hour away from Spangle up there in central Missouri. And she will be coming in to be the independent judge on giving away the grand prize. And that brings us back to, if you cannot make it, send us a video. The video, we just want to know what your character is. Tell us a little bit about who you are in person. And, just a short video. It doesn't take much. Same thing for October 25th, the closeout show. If you can't make it in person, just send us a little short. I've already got a couple. Rex Ray was one of them. The first to submit his little video. Fantastic job. Just saying thank you and Merry Christmas to everyone and wishing everyone a safe and good season. That's all we need.
Tomorrow's the deadline for the Halloween costume.
That's correct. Tomorrow is the deadline for the Halloween costume. If you have not signed up and you plan on being on the show as a contestant to get some of those, your share of the $900 worth of prizes, reach out to me, Angela, Randy, one of us, and let us know, and we'll get your name on the list. We've got 12 bucks right now. That's enough to do the show, but we'd like to have a few more if anyone's out there and would like to get in on that. Let us know by tomorrow. Got to have that in by the end of tomorrow night. So
now, is the deadline for the video tomorrow too? When is the deadline for the video if they can't make be live Tuesday? When is the deadline for the video?
Yeah, well, we could take the video a little bit later than that, as long as we know that you
have to make sure you register by tomorrow, but the video can come a day or two later. Okay.
Yeah,
the reason Saturday.
Saturday, she says that's the latest. Yeah. And the reason we're doing this, last year we let everyone come all the way down until 48 hours before the show, and it was just hectic trying to put together the time slots, get all the links sent out to the contestants, and basically just put the show together. So we're giving ourselves a little more time this year so we can put together a good presentation and make it better than last year.
Wow, those gifts. So you've got to make sure you get to the deadline tomorrow. Let us know if you're going to be at the show, if it's going to be a video, if it's going to be live. Let us know by tomorrow. Then if you got to send a video in later in the week, but let us know. Man, those gifts are incredible. I mean, wow. I mean, you can have professional photos done. I mean, we all need and love professional photos done. And to go to the school, it just gift certificates. I mean, and I mean, who doesn't need a new and doesn't want a new belt buckle?
Yeah, exactly. And Tom's got some
I'll
nice.
take one.
Some
I
nice-
think it's great. Wow.
uh,
Join us, man. Join us.
all right, let's. Hey, trivia answer. Let's give a trivia answer out at this point. I think we've covered everything else pretty good. All right, so the question was, what year was the book "The Shelf on the Elf: A Christmas
Elf on the
Tradition" written?
I
Elf.
didn't know you're dyslexic there, Bob. It's the elf on the shelf, not shelf on the elf.
Somebody put me out of my misery. Oh, my goodness. Elf on the Shelf. I'm sitting here reading it, and I still can't get it right, Randy.
It's all right.
I must be getting old. You know, I turned 69 this last week, so
Bingo. Isn't that what we're supposed to do when somebody says 69?
it's been a tough week. A lot of stuff going on this week. Anyway,
Happy birthday.
sorry, folks. The Elf on the Shelf, Christmas Tradition, written by, there was a mother and daughter that was credited, and the year was 2005. The mom's name is Carol Abersode, and the daughter was Chandra Bell. And our winner was
Rex Ray.
Rex Ray. Now, Rex, are you going to bow out of the gift and pass it along to the second winner? Give us a yes or a no there, because that's what you've been doing. So I assume that's what you'll do again. Yes, he says pass his prize on to the next person, and that will be
Santa Tom.
Tom up in Vancouver, Washington.
Vancouver. Very good.
Good job, Tom. Fantastic. Okay. I think it's time for them shorts, the Santa shorts. Let's get a peek.
Go. Only a peek, okay? You don't want to hurt your eyes. Hello, everybody. It's Randy, and it's time for Santa Shorts. It's a brief peek, just a brief peek into the world of Santa's world. What we kind of started earlier, what Bob talked about earlier, was about virtual visits. Now, virtual visits you can do all year long, and let me start way back in 2020 when the whole thing kind of fell apart. Of course, there were so many virtual companies then. Everybody wanted to have a virtual company. And there was a lot of places that, I'll be straight honest, kind of burned people about the idea about doing virtual. They promised the world, and they had you buy a new computer. They had you buy a new camera. They had you buy new lights, and then nothing really happened, which is very, very sad. But none of it was, I think, intentional. It just, the thought just would be higher and larger than what virtual was that year. The numbers of families out there that virtual could have done hundreds of thousands of visits, but there were some companies that did tons of visits. I was very fortunate the first year. I was on a company that kind of fell apart, but then I jumped into another company. I was very lucky. I got to do, 800 that first year. But you don't need to go crazy like a lot of people do. You can buy a backdrop you go on eBay or Amazon for $25, $30. If it's a static, if it looks like a Santa workshop or whatever, that's beautiful. It's kind of better not to do the green screen sometimes, because green screen and blue screen takes a lot of work. And I mean, if you saw Greg last week, he's got lights everywhere. Just the pro on doing the green screen and blue screen, but there's so many things you can do when you do a blue screen or green screen. If you want to do a complete screen, or mine, this is all real stuff I like to put together, because during my virtuals, I move a lot, and I can stand up a little bit too if I move my camera right, so I can do magic and interact with the children. But whenever you do virtual, you have to remember that you've got this little tiny square. You're kind of like you're on TV. You are interacting with the children, like we talked earlier, that the children sometimes get quiet, but you then have to be the entertainer as Santa. You have to, draw them in. You have to talk to them, and you have to, be the, and I don't know if this is the right word, the aggressive one about being the entertainer to them, instead of them coming to you to talk and sit there. But it's a riot. Someone said earlier too about doing messages. Oh my goodness, nothing is more fun than, since if you're concerned about doing the children that are sitting there, do a virtual message. Um, there's a couple of Santas out there that take somebody's cell phone and they take a video and they send a message directly to the child, and they've sold tons of messages just by doing it that way. Hello. They just talk right in the phone. So I mean, you don't have to have a big camera. You don't have to have your lights. You don't have to have all the things. Use your cell phone, use your tablet to record a virtual message. One company I work for called Mimeo, that's all I use. I don't even, I mean, I have my backdrop, but I don't even need the big computer. But of course, it's always nice if you're doing a corporation and you want to have, if you want to have their logo up or something like that, you do the OBS, you do all this kind of stuff, and that's a lot of training. But we still have what is it, 45 days till Thanksgiving. So if you're still very, very interested in doing virtual, which I think there's plenty of out there available, because that's what the children, that's what they're so used to. This is their world. This is their world. They sit in front of this school. They sit in front of this for learning. They sit in front of this for education, for fun. So it is the way of the future. So please don't give it up just because you might have been burned a few years ago because of it. It is still the way of the future. It might not be as big as it was, but it's also a good offshoot, especially messages. Because Bob made a comment earlier about working long hours, and yeah, we're going to work some long hours in the chair if you work at a mall or a box store or even doing home visits, whatever. But virtual messages, you can do it anytime. And anytime you do a quick little virtual message, since it's not live. So it's just a quick overview about don't give up on virtual. It is a great platform. If you have a website, offer it, because you're doing Zoom, you're doing StreamYard right now. You guys already know how to do that. You already have got that education behind you. Now you just got to come up with, of course, with routine, something to entertain the children, some type of, interaction with the children. Like we can color together. Yes, you can color together. See, you can even color together with the children. Now I'm going to have everybody going to help me color. Can all you guys help me color? You're going to learn some very silly elf magic words. Oh, and everybody do me a favor. Everybody wiggle your fingers, everybody. Oh, you're wiggling your fingers so well. But you got to do this. Just wiggle your fingers. You're going to learn these silly elf words. Ready? Wee-oo, wee-oo. Very good. Oh, no, Tom, say wee-oo, wee-oo. Oh, that's good. Woodgy, woodgy. Oh, that's good. Now watch what happens from your home, and you can tell them wherever you are, just like this. Oh, and you say, you can color the Christmas tree. You can color on video. Oh, there I'm peeking out. Oh, see, there's so many things you can do. I'm just going to go through it really quick like that instead of doing the whole routine. But there's so many things you can do on this screen if you're not getting the reaction out of the shows. So don't give up on virtual. It is a riot. There's good money in it. It can be very lucrative. And every prop you got, it doesn't matter. Spangle's little thing. Oh, how are you measuring up? Oh, you're measuring up good. There's plenty of things you can do. Everything you can do live, almost you can do. And there's some things you can do virtual that you can't even do live. The perspective on pictures and things like that. I wish I had this right here. Maybe I can get it really quick. I just thought about that. Oh no. Like this, we can't really do. It's. I don't have it right because where I'm at, but it's some things like this you can't do live, but you can do a little weird virtual things, camera wise on virtual, then you can't do live. So don't give up on it. Do it, and you've got time, because we've got 86 days till Christmas, 86 till Christmas, 26 till a lot of people start at the big box stores, and 45 till Thanksgiving. So again, if you have any questions, get down there and give me a buzz. Like I said, I did 600-800 the first year. I did over 500 last year. Hopefully I'll do 500-600 this year again. So of course, you have the guru of the green screen, Greg, which is a guy that surpasses us all when it comes to coolness. I don't do all those fancy things. I got this world. I do a little differently, but you can do it too very, very easily. So please take a minute and think about doing some virtual. It's a riot. Thank you guys for listening again to me. Have a great day. It's Santa Shorts, a brief peek. See you soon. All right. Woo-hoo!
I felt like I was missing something. Yeah, fantastic segment, Randy, and that is so true that there's no wrong way. You know, it doesn't matter how fancy of a backdrop you have. It's more about what you're presenting and the content of what you're presenting. And
You can go as little. You can go
can be
little.
fun. And as time goes on, it's going to evolve because we're really it's been around, you know, for 10, 15 years, whatever, but it's still evolving every day.
Oh, did I say the wrong date? I'm sorry. 76 days till Christmas. Oh, sorry.
Hey, it is live. At least you didn't call the book the chef.
Yeah, but yeah, it's a fun thing to do. Like I said, you can do. It is so fun. Just even you can get bookings just by sending. Oh, your child is home. Oh, give me your phone. I'll do a FaceTime with them real quick. And you're doing a video then, and then you can sell more videos. Oh, I can send you a video. There's ways of selling it so easily. Sell it to a corporation. You do one live performance. Let's say thing, and they say, hey, look, a package deal. I can sell you 50 messages besides to your company that's got 500 employees. There's ways of that. That's got to be done a little ahead of time, maybe not now, but there is. It's fun. Like I said, you don't have to do the. I mean, Greg just blows me away with what he has set up. And I mean, I don't have that set up. I think it's but man, but don't give up on it because it is here to stay, regardless what level it is. Sorry, Bob, I kept on going.
No, fantastic.
Like the vest. Great.
I seen the plaid vest. Yeah, I got a plaid vest. I'm going to on a red shirt. Didn't have time. I was afraid that you would end. You'd come back, and I wouldn't be sitting here.
Oh, gracious.
All right. Okay, so fantastic segment, Randy, as always. Great content. Love that. And so let's move on now to Santa's Magic Bag. All right, so Santa's Magic Bag today is titled Santa's Health is in the Bag. And we kind of, we've talked about Santa's health and different ways to prepare for the season. But, to bring the magic of Christmas requires Santa to stay healthy, not just before, but during the season. And that's one of the hardest things. I think the majority of us end up getting the sniffles or a cold, and there's been times in the past I've gotten extremely sick during the season. You have to battle through that. But you can do some things beforehand that will help prepare you for the season. That is to make sure, again, we mentioned this last week, get your rest. Supplements, vitamins. For years, I didn't take vitamins. And I caught myself getting sick more and more and more. It wasn't anything serious, but I was coming down with colds and sinus infections and that sort of thing. And someone said, do you take supplements? Well, no. I don't think they work. Well, maybe you ought to try them because they work for me. And supplements have made a difference in my life. Take the vitamin C, of course, the biotin for the hair and the beard. Potassium, to help keep you from cramping up in the chair. We've talked about that in the past. It's real easy to get dehydrated and cramp up. So, again, make sure that you're hydrated. Stay well hydrated. Make sure that you've got all your prescription medication in. Each night before you go to bed, if you've got certain things that you've got to take spread out through the day, put those in separate baggies and label them. Lunch, dinner, whatever you have, take those to the mall with you and make sure that during your break or whenever, that you take your medication. Always stay on top of things because Santa's health has got to be in the bag, right? All right, so take care of yourself. Stay healthy, have fun, live in the moment, and enjoy the season that it will be coming up very soon and get a jump on it now by going ahead and doing all the things that we talked about. And that's Santa's magic bag for this week.
Definitely so true. We have to take care of ourselves. I mean, because most of us are up in years. We're up in years and have that extra, and so we need to take care of ourselves. So, like Bob said, hydrate as much as you can. Always have that bottle of water. Hopefully, you can have it on the set or someplace around. Um, I remember. I don't know if I said this last week or whenever it was, but I remember a year ago or so when I was in, and I just, man, wasn't taking care of myself, and I literally had that delirious. I was slurring my words when I was in the chair and everything else because it's like, okay, wait a minute, I'm not drinking enough, I'm not getting enough protein, and I'm not doing all that stuff because I was working. At the time, I was actually working a real job. I was getting up at 4:15 in the morning to go to my job in the food service business, working 10 hours and sitting in the chair for how many hours a night. But still, I didn't take care of myself, put together. But Bob was exactly right. Just take the time, start now. Even Bruce talking about taking care of your voice, because we can't lose our voice during the holiday time. We try to talk deeper. We try to get that ho, ho, ho out, and that strains. So you've got to take care of that. Make sure that's done. Like Bob said, the biotin, is that how you pronounce it? Biotin? Biotin. This stuff is great for your hair, to whatever you can. Even if you got naturally white hair, take care of it. So it is, your health is, and because we are this close to the children, they're sniffling, they're sneezing, they're this, they're that, and very easy to catch something. I'll knock on wood. I didn't catch anything. I haven't, but you never know. But it's like Bob said, take care of yourself. It is a major thing to do. Cool.
Yeah, that's right. Eat right. I mean, get up in the morning, have a breakfast, have something nutritional to start your day off, because it's the most important meal of the day. That gets you up, get your cells. Every morning we start off with a warm glass of lemon water, which helps wake your organs up, kind of get your body hydrated right off the bat, kind of, and it helps with keeping your body pure, as far as trying to keep the impurities flushed out, is what I'm trying to say. But that's something we've done for years. And again, there's so many different things that you can do. Tom says his wife tells him that barley pop is not hydrating. That's true. It needs to be water, or, I'm a firm believer. And of course, from the South, I drink tea. Forever, I drank sweet tea, and then I had to, go to artificial sweeteners. But for me, tea is 99% water with a little bit of flavor in it. So it's still hydrating, and whatever it takes. There's a product out there that we use, especially if we're out working in the yard and in summertime when it's really hot. You can buy it online. It takes one scoop. You put it in water, throw you a couple of ice cubes in there, shake it up, and it's ready to go. And it really, really has all of the ingredients to rehydrate yourself and put all those nutrients and stuff back into your body. That's something that you all should look into, is making sure that you carry something with you, nutritional, to your sets, as Randy said, in a little capped thermos of any sort. And that way you'll stay good and hydrated. Eat well, take care of yourself, take your supplements, get some exercise. During November, December, we sit in a chair a lot. We're not as active and moving around as we should. So get up and move around.
And Bob said I got water and tea. Tea is a liquid. Don't think coffee is. Coffee is a dehydrator. So think I just had I feel better, I feel energized, I had a cup of coffee. Actually, that is a dehydrator. So coffee is really not good for you to have. It might give you that little punch of caffeine, but you're also then it kind of helps dehydrate. So you're losing you're losing more. So don't count that as a good thing for drinking.
Had to put fluids back in after coffee. Coffee does give you that little caffeine boost of energy. And, I know some guys that drink those little 1 hour shots. Boy, those things are so detrimental to your body. Yeah. And it's a roller coaster, and they're not good for you. They're not good for your cardiovascular system. They'll get you moving, and then you'll crash. And so try to stay away from those.
I buy I went to Sam's Club a week or so ago, and I bought 4 cases. I use a thing called Premier Protein. They're a little bottle of protein drinks. They have all kinds of flavors. It's liquid, it's protein, it's everything to have with you. They don't need to be refrigerated. They're fantastic. It's something I really recommend you having because your body needs that like crazy. So I bought 4 cases. I try to figure out how many I'm going to need each day. So there it comes already just shake and drink, you know. So of course some people drink protein powder with water and things like that, but they have all kinds of flavors. It's peach, banana, strawberry, chocolate, peanut butter, cafe latte, you know, whatever, vanilla, so caramel. So,
So
I totally recommend that idea.
the powder drink that we were talking about, my son-in-law works out heavy at the gym, and this is something that he turned us all on to. It's called HydroCharge. HydroCharge. I don't know if I can get that in front of the camera, but this is premium electrolyte powder, and this is fruit punch. Fantastic, tastes excellent. Really does put the life back in you. I know when I was building the fence, me and my wife was building fences last summer, 100+ temperature out there in the heat, and we start to get that shaky feel. You can drink one of these, and your muscles feel like they just, come back to life. You get over that drop that you've had with blood sugar. But this has all the antioxidants and all the good stuff in it. You can get this offline, HydroCharge.
Right, Kathy. Yeah, pop isn't good either, but it can drink any kind of other liquids. If it's a Propel water, if it's a vitamin water, anything like that is great to drink. It will bring like Bob had for that thing. It adds all those electrolytes. It adds all those things to it. If it's even Gatorade. Everybody's used to drinking Gatorade, but sometimes there's a lot of sugar. You have to get Gatorade Zero, otherwise you're just drinking a ton of sugar. So, but there's so many things. But take care of yourself because nobody wants to get sick. Nobody wants to, because if you're sick, you're not working, and the children are, so we don't want to bring our immune system down to get sick because, there'll be little ones that definitely want to pass it on to us. So.
Rex says zinc helps fight off colds and sniffles. That is very true. I take vitamin C. I take, of course, we mentioned biotin. Take B12. Take potassium. Take zinc. Anything that can help you fight off, and try to stay healthy and not get sick because, hey, those little guys that come to visit us, they carry every germ known to man, and it comes right across our way time and time again during the season. All right, fantastic. Anyone have any questions at this point? Any questions from anyone out there today? Kathy says pop isn't either, which you just mentioned caffeine, and she says, of course, she thinks those come in cartons, not bottles. Referring to Randy's. All right, guys. I'll tell you what, I'm excited for tomorrow night. It's going to be a fantastic show. It's really easy to get excited about Tuesday nights. I always say, what else you gonna do? I know some guys go other places and do other things on Tuesday night. That's why we do record. That way you can always come back. And be careful with the electrolytes drinks. If you take supplements like potassium, you can overdo it. That's true because those drinks and then putting too much of one particular thing like potassium in could be detrimental to you. Absolutely, I agree. And all right, so again, fantastic show lineup for tomorrow night. We'll see you guys tomorrow night. We'll be back here next Monday to talk about the Halloween show coming up. Again, get your registration. Holler at us. Let us know if you want to be in that. You got till tomorrow. You got till Saturday to get the video if you're doing video. Send us a video for the closeout show if you would, please. I think many of you watched last year's closeout show. We start at the top, kind of go through week by week who our guest was. And if that guest submitted a video, then we play that to tie it all together. All right, Randy, what else you got, man? Anything?
I think that's good. You guys, again, thank you so much for all your comments and your participation. Everybody, thank you for joining us. It's going to be wonderful. Don't miss tomorrow night's roundtable. Like I said, it's going to be some cool, incredible questions and a great panel. I mean, just a great panel of everybody that's going to be there. So don't miss it tomorrow night. Of course, like I said, Bob said, get your stuff in for the Halloween. Those gifts, incredible. You got to get them in just to take a chance for those great gifts.
Yeah,
So,
almost $900 worth of stuff there. So I mean, take a chance to get your piece of it if you can, if you're interested. All right, thanks, Mark. Thanks everyone, Kathy, Rex, everyone who joined in today. Good to see you, Eric Moesha. Take care of yourself. Let's see, we had who else did we have? Santa Tom, you too. Congratulations on the win, Santa Tom. Greg, fantastic show last week, Greg. Again, Scott Parker, as always. Jeff, thank you for joining in. AJ, good to see you again, brother. All right, I think we covered everyone. So, hey, we're out of here. Till tomorrow night. That's the parade wave.
elbow.